Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, she heard herself whisper, I will fear no evil. Then she closed her eyes and clutched this last piece of Kelly close, as with a laugh, a chortle of glee, he slashed the knife straight down toward her chest. An explosion. 2, 3, 4, 5, more pain, her shoulder, her chest, her throat. He'd stabbed her, she thought, as she collapsed to the ground. No, he'd shot her. But that didn't make sense. A ragged sob behind her, followed by the stench of death growing ever closer. Heidi dragged herself across the hardwood floor, holding a small pistol, Sarah noticed now. Heidi had a gun. I'm sorry, Heidi whispered. She was crying, tears mixing, smearing with the blood on her cheeks. Never shoulda. Shh, Sarah said. Heidi put her head on Sarah's shoulder. Sarah winced. Heidi had shot her while shooting him. But it hardly seemed to matter now. Blood pooling on her throat, blood dripping from her back, so much pain. And yet it seemed far away, abstract. The madman was still. The molten screams had ended. Now there was just this, a final moment. Sarah and Heidi both placed their hands on Kelly's arm. I'm sorry, Heidi mumbled again, as Sarah listened to her last gurgling breath. I will fear no evil, she whispered in the ensuing silence. I will fear no evil. Fear no evil. Fear no evil. The police finally burst through the front door. The EMTs rushed to their rescue. Jesus Christ, the first cop said, coming to a halt in the middle of the apartment. I will fear no evil, Sarah told the woman, and once more offered up Kelly's severed arm. A year later, what she remembered most was waking up to the sound of giggling. Do screams have a taste? Fire, ash, red-hot cinnamon candies, which as a little girl Sarah liked to let melt on the tip of her tongue. Excuse me, you forgot this. Sound of giggling. Molten white screams. I will fear no evil. 1 year later. 1 year later. 1 year later. A knock at the door. Hard, and then again. Sarah bolted awake in her tiny studio apartment. Drenched in sweat, breath ragged, she lay perfectly still, ears straining. Then it came again. Knocking, pounding, someone demanding entrance. Slowly she reached for the top drawer of her nightstand. No stashed knife. She couldn't even look at a blade. No gun. She'd tried, but her hands shook too much. So a canister of pepper spray, meant to chase off bears when hiking in the woods, and available at any outdoor gear or camping store. She had the canisters stashed all over her single-room apartment, in every bag she carried. She drew out the canister, sliding off the mattress as the knocking started again. She stank, could smell the reek of her own sweat and terror, night after night after night. Screams did have a color. It was the only thing she truly understood anymore. Screams had a color, and she was now intimately familiar with all the shades of despair. I will fear no evil, Sarah told herself as she put her eye to the peephole and gazed into the dimly lit hole. A lone woman, late 20s, early 30s, maybe, dressed casually in jeans and a sweatshirt. She looked like someone Sarah should know, had maybe met once upon a time. Then again, 2 a.m. was a strange time for a social call. It's okay, the woman spoke up, no doubt sensing Sarah's gaze on her. She held up both hands as if to prove she was unarmed. I won't hurt you. Who are you? Honestly, you're going to have to open up to find out. That's part of the deal. I'm here to help you, but you got to take the first step. I will fear no evil, Sarah said, clutching her bear spray tightly. That's stupid, said the woman. World is full of evil. Fear is what keeps us safe. Who are you? Someone who's not going to stand here forever. Make your choice, Sarah. Hide behind platitudes or make the world a better place. Sarah hesitated, but then her fingers landed on the first bolt lock, then the second, the third. There was something about this woman, not what she said so much as the way she stood,